province held a public meeting showing its plan to expand the campground and close the day use area, at least during the summer. That didn't impress Susan Morash. She is one of the founders of the Friends of Laurie Park, and she has launched a campaign to allow local residents to still use the park. For a reaction, we reached Harold Carroll. He is the Director of Parks and Recreation for the Department of Natural Resources.
Hello, Mr. Carroll.
Yes, good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
What's the idea behind the revitalization of this piece of parkland?
Well, Laurie Park is one of our older park properties, and we had the opportunity through the federal provincial stimulus program to get access to infrastructure money, so we have identified Laurie as one of the parks to go in and do some work on, and it includes some upgrading to the campsite, being the area that is, I guess, showing its age the most.
Yesterday when we were speaking with Sharon Morash, Friends of Laurie Park, she said that the upgrade will mean daytime use will be truncated, if not entirely cut off. What's your say on that?
Well, a week or so ago, we had an information session where we went out with a concept for the redevelopment of the park, and at that information session, we were looking to get feedback from the community, and as part of the feedback that came out that evening, and we've been getting ever since, it's become, I guess, more evident than we realized that there is a significant interest in the local area as far as accessing that park for some day use type of activities when the park is open. We're aware of the interest of the locals to go and walk the park when it was closed and there was no camping being provided, but there was a limited number of information as far as how much use was occurring when the park was open. So.
But does the upgrade mean that people like Susan and other people who use it to walk in the winter or skate in the winter, I guess, or to go for a walk or to sunbathe will not be able to use it, not be able to access it?
No, well, nothing's going to change as far as when the campground is not in use. So any of the activities that people have traditionally done or have carried on from the over the fall, winter, early spring months, nothing there is being impacted. The plan did have changes to the what we call the day use activity area, and so that's what we were looking to get input on, and certainly the public have come out and provided that over the last week to 10 days, and so now we're in the process of taking that information and seeing how we can accommodate those interests and what we can do to follow up on those comments.
Does that mean you might be open to compromising on how many sites there are? What, 70 sites there now?
There's 71 campsites, yes, and that is one of the things that we have to look at, is that to accommodate other uses means we may scale back on how many campsites are in the park. So that's part of it. It's all part of looking at what the property can sustain and looking at what the interest and types of activities people want to carry on there and how we can match up the two.
Because you would think on the surface of it, at least looking at it from the outside, you say, gee, it'd be good to be able to accommodate the people who live in the area year-round as well as the people who might want to use it for a couple of days or a week during the summertime.
Yeah, and that's part of the process that we're trying to go through now, and we've been talking about it, and our minister certainly has heard the message that the public have been portraying in the last week with emails and various other things to him as well as directly to us, and so the next step for us is to have a look at that information and sort of figure out how best we can manage around that and recognize those interests.
But when you look at what the feedback you had in the original plan you had in place, is it your feeling that there's a workable compromise available here?
Yeah, there is some places that we can do adjustments and some accommodations I think can be found. It's a matter of us as looking at what people want, and we know people are very interested in being able to walk through the park, and we know people want to have access to the shoreline and that type of thing. So the challenge now is to see how we can build that in, recognizing that we still need to be able to upgrade the camping opportunities to something that's a little more sustainable than what exists. So it's finding that I guess, that compromise or the accommodation that really does recognize both level of uses in the park.
Now, Harold, will the new proposal or the revisited proposal then be taken back to maybe for some public input from people like Susan and other people who are friends of Laurie Park?
Well, that's some of what we got to figure out how we're going to. First of all, we got to define, I guess, what we can do, and then we got to come up with, yes, a way to get some feedback on that in a reasonable fashion. So that's yet to be determined, but that's something that we're working on now.
Thank you very much for taking a few minutes to speak with us.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks, Harold.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Harold Carroll is Director of Parks and Recreation for the Department of Natural Resources. And